Hello, my fellow property manager friends. Mark Cunningham at Grace Property Management. I have good news for you, the best news you've heard in a long time. Do you believe this statement? Your business, my friends, is about to boom. And I don't mean kaboom, blow up in a bad way. I mean it's about to get really, really good for you if you are a property manager. Why? What am I talking about? What am I talking about? We have come out of, I believe, and I've been saying this for many years, that we have been in the worst decade for property management in, I don't know how far back history books go, but in the longest history of time. Why? Because the sales market has been so darn hot that if anybody wants to sell a property, they can sell it for more than they bought it for. It doesn't matter if they bought it yesterday, they can sell it today and they'll make 15%. So there's no reason not to sell. At the same time, you have these sale prices that for a decade have just been popping and 20% a year, 20%, 20%. And you have a lot of investors who say, well, gosh, this is an investment property, but I got a capital. I'm cashing out. The market is so hot. The sales market is so strong. I'm taking my money and I'm going home. And so at the same time that you had all these potential new clients not coming on the market because they could sell, and at the same time, a lot of them were selling. Current clients were selling. It was like a double whammy. It's a double whammy. And you say, well, Mark, but hold on. I thought the last decade a lot of investors bought rental properties. And some did. And that presented some opportunities for us. But nothing like the opportunities I think we are going to see with a slowing sales market. So we're coming out of that worst decade. Now, if you've been watching this stuff back in, June? I think we did one of these videos titled The Return of the Accidental Landlord, and we talked a little bit about this. Well, it is here, my friends. I was actually walking down to my basement where I do these little video things here this morning, and this was the presentation I had ready to go. I had my computer ready to go. I grabbed the Wall Street Journal. I just kind of took a glance at that, and this article popped off this morning, just a couple hours ago. It says, home sellers shift tack in the slow market. Home sellers shift tack, that's hard to say, shift tack in slow market. Now I'm recording this video on what is today? Tuesday, September 20th. Tuesday, September 20th. This article should be entitled, Your Business is About to Boom. It's a missed title. Because here's what the article says. After Marc and Melissa Reinhardt moved from California to Dallas, the couple put their home in the Los Angeles suburb up for sale this summer. Yet even after a price reduction of $10,000, there was hardly any interest. Instead, they decided to rent out the home. Their monthly payment now covers their ownership cost. If the housing market remains sluggish, which I believe it will, they will likely keep the home as a rental once the current 2-year lease expires, Mr. Reichert says. And then he said, there's just no serious buyers out there right now. Home sellers across the U.S., discouraged by the slowdown in the housing market, are able to capitalize on soaring home rental market and increasingly opting to hold their houses and lease them out instead. This is interesting. It says that they're actually starting to track now the number of homes that flip from being listed for sale on the same home to it flips to being listed for rent. They've never even tracked this before, but there's such a great number of homes that people are trying to sell. They want to sell, they really want to sell, but they can't because the sales market is slowing. Or maybe they can, but they wouldn't get the money they need because they're not necessarily underwater, but they bought at the peak, which you did if you bought in the last number of months. And it said in Southern California, 10% of home sellers switched their listings from for sale to for rent. 10%. 1 out of every 10 homes for sale is now for rent. That's a big deal. The U.S. average is 4% of homes that were previously listed for sale are now listed for rent. And then it talks about landlords facing risks. My friends, this is a very good thing. This is a very good thing for us. So 3 things. 3 things you need to be in order to capitalize on this market. Number one, you need to be findable. You need to be findable because when the individuals they just talked about, they decide, you know what, we're not going to sell it, we're going to rent it. The first thing they're probably going to do is they're going to talk to their real estate sales agent who had been trying to sell the house for them. And they're going to say, you know what, we want to pull it off the market. We've decided to rent it. You better get in front of the real estate sales community. They better know how to refer these potential clients to you. If they don't know who you are, they're not going to refer them to you. You got to get in front of those folks. And if they don't ask their real estate agent, or if their real estate agent doesn't know, they're going to go online and they're going to Google information about how to rent out their house. And if you're not findable online, they're not going to come to you. So all this mass influx of new clients, which I believe are going to literally be knocking on your front door very, very soon, they're not going to be able to find your front door. So you've got to be findable. You got to be findable. Number one. Now, number two, before I tell you number two, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, Showdigs. Do you use Showdigs for your property inspections, for your property showings? We do. We love them. They save us a tremendous amount of time. Now, the reason I'm showing you the screen with yours truly in there is if you want more information about what I'm talking about right here, then I hope you will join us, in a week, I think. I'm doing a webinar for Showdigs, the silver lining of the slowing sales market. I'm going to talk about this and how we got here, why we were telling our investor clients 9 months ago to start selling some properties, unloading some properties. Thursday, September 29th at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, Thursday, September 29th. I'll put a link in this video if you want to go register. It's a free webinar put on by Showdigs. Thank you, Showdigs, for doing that. I'm going to talk about how we got here, and I'm also going to talk about what we as PMs need to do to capitalize on this so we don't get left behind, so we don't miss out on what I believe is the best coming decade. So thank you, Showdigs, for hosting that. I hope to see you all there when we can spend a little more time together and go in a little more depth. Number two, you need to be the expert and you need to be the educator. Because the people that are going to be coming to you are not investors. They're people who would rather sell, and they can't sell for whatever reason. They're not investors. They don't think of themselves investors, and they come to you and they're like, I think I might want to rent this thing out, and they don't know a thing about it. So you need to educate them. You need to be the expert. You need to put information on your website that talks about what this means, how to do this. Educate, educate, educate. That's what these people are going to be looking for as they're considering renting out their house. And number three, you need to also, this is the bad news, you need to be prepared for new competition, because we have a whole lot of real estate agents who suddenly aren't going to be making any money. There are no houses to sell, nobody wants to buy, and these real estate agents who have been in a booming decade where they can sell anything without even trying, suddenly they can't sell anything no matter how hard they try. And what are they going to do? Well, some of them will decide they're going to open up a property management company. Some of them will read that paper today and they will say, you know what, I'm closing my sales division, I'm going to open up a property management division, and they're going to compete against you on what aspect? How are they going to compete against you? They don't have the knowledge you have. They don't have the experience you have. They don't have the everything. They don't have the documents, the processes. But guess what they do have? They have pricing power. So they will see whatever you're charging, and they'll charge a little bit or even a lot bit less. So we've got to be prepared for that. That's just the reality of this market, that we need to be prepared for that competition. That is the best news you have heard all year, because your business, if you set it up properly right now, is going to have a new influx of absentee owners who just can't live there, accidental landlords, and they're going to want to hire you to manage their property. Jump on our website, pmbuild.com. You can find information to help you get prepared for this coming influx, and I hope to see you next week on the webinar that I'll be doing for Showdigs. Until next week, my friends, I wish you success.